address what Clerk Ellis had referenced. I don't have my notes in front of me, but in regards to the file, Mr. Charbonneau mentioned that the FDLE, one of our files, we willingly and happily, in fact, it was a happy day for me to give those files. I wanted some third party to see the files. In November, we found a way legally that we could release it before the expiration date. We released the files. I can tell you it's thousands of pages. In fact, we did more than just give what you would consider a file of correspondence between us and the company. We showed emails and everything else as boxes of information. We provided that to the clerk. We also provided that to the newspaper as well. In February of this year, the NDA would have expired, and those files would have been open anyway. So I did want to address that. I can get into more details, but let me get into my comments if I could. And thank you for your time today in discussing the Brevard County amicus brief on behalf of the EDC. Since this item is relevant to the EDC's appeal, the recent court ruling, I would like to address the discussion that occurred with our officers and executive board of the EDC regarding their decision to proceed with an appeal. After deliberate and thoughtful consideration, the executive committee and the board of directors of the EDC ratified that decision to appeal. Points under consideration by this group were both structural as an organization, as well as intrinsic as to how an economic development operates on a day-to-day basis. Structurally, the appeal is based on the fact that the court ruling did not reflect the fundamental case law noted in both submitted briefs regarding access to the records. Furthermore, the ruling lacked clarification for the EDC to determine what files are considered public and what are not. In fact, we got conflicting legal advice on that. Intrinsically, the intrinsic principles of this EDC is as of a private, nonprofit organization that works on a day-to-day basis with clients locally, nationally, and internationally. We interface with clients that are provided details on their proprietary business, new product development, and new market expansion plans. Whether outside businesses or resident companies in Brevard County, decision makers will not want to locate or expand within a community which lacks confidentiality. I think all of you, if you have a business or even your private business dealings, you wouldn't want to be under those circumstances either. Our relationships will never get to the initial discussions or general inquiries if confidential information inherent in such business decisions is considered public record and exposes corporate intelligence that is highly confidential and proprietary. Furthermore, the EDC's own trade secrets, specifically our lead generation activities, approaches, and contacts will be open for review and could be used by our competitors. But I think even more significantly, there's a major ramification I think we should be aware about this ruling. This litigation and ruling will be precedent-setting for the state of Florida and every economic development organization working for jobs and capital investment, as this ruling could jeopardize effectiveness as well as damaging the state of Florida's reputation in economic development. The bottom line, it's not just investment in Brevard County. No one will invest in the state of Florida. Given the structural and intrinsic concerns of the ruling and the impact of the collective efforts of our economic development partners, as well as the reputational risk to the state of Florida, the EDC Board of Directors felt it had no choice but to appeal, as this issue has become bigger than the EDC itself. Commissioners, having confidential protection for our clients are just part of the economic development process, but that doesn't mean the county's out of the loop. You are all aware of the procedures and protocol implemented by this commission to keep you informed and up to date on projects. This community, this commission, this EDC has had a great resolve and success in not only addressing and mitigating the challenges, but improving the economic base, thereby the quality of life. I challenge anyone to find a community that has such an impending threat and yet able to turn it around. And secondly, I challenge you out there to find a community with such a powerful economic development story and did so only through luck. This board understands just how extremely competitive economic development is in this country. And there are so many inherent provocations to job creation to begin with that we don't need anything more that will negatively affect Brevard County's business development efforts. It is unfortunate that